Hello, my name is Robin Ibanez. In honor of the holiday we will be celebrating at the end of this month, I'm going to tell you an old Hispanic ghost story. I first heard this story as a young girl, and it is called The Legend of La Llorona. Many years ago, in a small, poor village in Mexico, there lived a beautiful young girl named Maria. Everyone in Maria's village thought she was the most beautiful girl in the world, and would tell her whenever they saw her. As Maria grew older, her beauty increased, but so did her pride and her vanity. Maria thought she deserved only the best, and would only accept a husband who was handsome and rich enough to spoil her for the rest of her life. One day, the man of Maria's dreams came to her village. He was the young and handsome son of a wealthy merchant, and when he first saw Maria, he was overwhelmed with desire for her. He promised her all of the jewelry and fancy dresses she could ever want, as well as a huge house full of hundreds of servants, if only she would marry him. And so they quickly married, because Maria's husband had to return to his family's home. He would travel to Maria's village and back to his home. Whenever he would return to Maria's village, he would lavish attention and affection on her, but then would leave to go to his family's home, a family who would neither approve nor knew of his marriage to Maria. He would leave Maria alone for months at a time. As the years went by and Maria gave birth to 2 children, she still remained in her poor village. Slowly, Maria's husband soon began to lose affection for her. He would spend his time in Maria's village with their children and would ignore Maria. He would often talk to his children about the wealthy and elegant ladies of his class. Maria was becoming more and more furious with her husband and with the children who she believed was stealing all of his attention and affection. One evening, as Maria and her children were walking on the path along the river, her husband drove by in a carriage. Seated beside him was an elegant lady. He stopped and spoke to his children. He said nothing to Maria and ignored her, and drove away without a backwards glance. Maria was filled with a terrible rage, and she grabbed her children and threw them in the river. She held them down in the river, but quickly realized what she was doing and let them go. But they floated down the river. She ran after her children, screaming and crying, but the river was too swift and she was too tired. After a while, she gave up and drowned herself. In the nights after one of the villagers found Maria's body, they started hearing the sound of crying by the river. They also began to hear someone saying, "Where are my children?" Some villagers claim that they saw a woman dressed in white crying by the road. They say it's because her spirit couldn't move on from these terrible crimes, and so her spirit still wanders, crying in guilt and grief. On a dark night, if you listen closely, you can hear her whisper on the wind, "Where are my children?" Over the years, they stopped calling her Maria and started calling her La Llorona, the crying woman. She would continue searching for her children, and if you're outside at night, she may find you and think you're one of hers and take you away forever. Thank you for listening to my story.